Hi all, Kybermon here, and special shout out to Kevin. This one's for you, buddy. So I noticed you've been working on something a little special about two gods trying to resurrect a world serpent. Well, got a little something special for you today. Core Rules Review number 18, Shadow of the Demon Lord. Now, I know you're wondering, well, I'm running a D&D 5e or 3.5 campaign. Well, this uses a D20 as well, and D6 is for everything that it's not using a D20 for. So, not in any way mechanically similar to Conan or the other Modifius 2D20 games. This uses the meet or exceed rule, just like D&D 5e. And let's begin. Okay, so a little something about advantage and disadvantage here. You have boons and banes, and it's a 1-for-1 cancel out, right? So if you have 3 boons and 2 banes, boop, you have 1 boon, right? If you have 4 banes and 2 boons, you have 2 banes left. You roll 2d6 at that point, and whichever number is higher, you subtract from your d20 roll, because it's a bane, it's a bad thing. So you only count the highest die of either your boons or your banes if you have more of one than the other. And by canceling out automatically the number of dice rolled, you're limiting the number of complications you have to deal with later on. So this game has 10 levels per character, and it doesn't go up to level 20. And you actually get a level advancement for your ancestry or heritage or whatever they're calling it in this. It's been a minute. And this game is mature. There are some very dark things. This makes Warhammer look like a joke. As far the closest element that I could come up with for this is Lamentations of the Flame Princess meets kind of 5e. So the actual gritty darkness, that level of evil is present in this. So it's what 5e should have been. Okay, so ancestries, that's right. Okay, so we have changelings, clockworks, dwarves, goblins, orcs, and humans. It's kind of hard to read due to the high gloss sometimes. Okay, so ancestry benefits. Ancestries provide you with story cues that guide you how you might play your character and tell you your character's starting traits. Okay, so let's see. So ancestry story, there's a certain thing about that. I'll show you guys that more in a bit. So ancestry traits, you get attributes from it, you get characteristics from it, languages and professions from it, talents, level 4 benefits, and then ancestry tables. Okay, so let's look at the human. Creating a human background, you roll a d20. You can roll or choose, but it's specifying roll because it's a deadly game. Human personality, human religion, human age, human build, human appearance. Okay, so let's see. Oh, there's a. So Walmart now sells dice for RPGs. You can find it in their gaming section. And these are actually quite nice. They feel just like normal dice. They don't feel too cheap. They're about $8, and you get 3 sets of dice for like $8. Okay, so let's roll this d20. That's 19. So our human background is, someone important and powerful owes you a favor. Okay. Human personality, 3d6. Okay, so instead of 3d6, this set has a 4, 6, and 8, right? You still get the 3 to 18 because 8 and 4 is 12 plus 6 is 18. You still get 3 to 18, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so I got 6 and 3 and 1, that's 10. So my personality is you put your interest and those of your friends above all else. Great, okay. And my human religion, 3, 4, and 1, that's 8. You follow the tenets of the old faith, okay. And my human age, 172, so 10. You're a young adult, 18 to 35. Okay, and my human build, 4, 4, so 8, 11. Okay. Your average in height and weight. Anyways, yeah, so anytime they use 3d6 in any game, just use 4, 6, and 8. You get the same results. Okay? Is it a little different? Yes, but not by any determining factor. Like, it won't change the outcomes. Okay, so let's see. Oh, human appearance. Oh. 6 and 4 and 3 is 13. You have a physical quality that makes you attractive to others. You might have pretty eyes, lips, hair, shape, or something else. Let's say I have beautiful ears. Okay. So that's basically how character generation works. But let's say we chose to be a human. It would take forever to go through all of these. But the next one is Changeling. And each one of these has different selections. So changelings have true age, apparent gender, apparent ancestry. The changeling background, their quirk, and personality. Then you have clockwork, which is clockwork age. Clockwork purpose, clockwork form, appearance, background, and personality. Dwarves have age, build, appearance, hatred, background, personality. And then you have goblins, which have age, build, distinctive appearance, odd habit, background, and personality. Then you have orc, which have age, build, appearance, background, personality. And then so some of these are a bit more unique than others, and there's a lot of variation within each species. Then you have professions, and then you have profession types. You have academic, common, criminal, martial, religious, or wilderness. So what type of job did you have? And then they go over those in more detail. But every single one of those has their own table to roll on. So common, academic, criminal, martial, and wilderness. And, oh yeah, then you have religious. Then you have wealth. And that goes from destitute to rich. So destitute, poor, getting by, comfortable, wealthy, or rich. and that's pretty nice. Although I think wealthy outranks rich, because wealth is, it's more conceptual. Like, okay, so interesting things. You roll 1d6 and then you select that table because you have 6 different tables. So you roll 1d6 and then 1d20, or you could just roll them at the same time. Okay, so I got a 3 and a 1. Okay, so table 1, result 3. Table 1, result 3. A glass ball filled with water in which swims a tiny living goldfish. That's the thing I have with me, that I carry with me everywhere. A tiny glass bowl with a goldfish in it. That happens to be alive, okay. Okay, and then let's see. Personality traits. Okay, what was the roll for this? I believe you have to roll. Yeah, okay, so here's this. Okay, so I'm going to roll 1d20 twice. For my positive personality trait, it's a 6. So that is dutiful, and my negative is also 6. So impulsive. I'm dutiful, but impulsive. Okay, and then over here, we have advancement. Level 1, you deal with novice professions, chapter 3. And then number 2, you gain another benefit from your novice path. Level 3, you choose your expert path. Level 4, you gain your ancestry benefits. Level 5, you gain your level 5 novice path. Level 6, you gain your next expert. And then level 7, you choose your master path. Level 8, you gain your next novice benefit. And level 9, you gain your final expert benefit. And level 10, you gain your second and final master path benefit. And for your master, I believe you can choose another expert. There's something in the rules about that, I believe. There's just a lot to this, and here's the boons and banes, and this is really cool. And it's just like, okay, so say I have one boon. Okay, 14 and 5, that's 19. Say I have one bane. 20 and 6, 14. Because a bane you subtract. I mean, it's literally that easy. And then they have different madness rules. Mark of darkness, corruption. There's so many cool things about this. Falling damage. Afflictions. And one of the other cool things about this, the combat system works like this. You have 2 types of initiative. Fast and slow. Okay, so basically, if you take a fast action, and player characters always move before the enemy, right? So you take an action and the enemy takes an action in the fast initiative category. You will hit them, but you only get that one action. If you take it slow, you get your full amount of actions, but you go after the fast moving creatures. So say you have 2 party members. One takes fast initiative, one takes slower initiative, right? So the fast one will go before the fast NPC, and then the slow player will go, then the slow NPC will go. So basically there's 4 phases to combat per round. Yeah, fast turns, slow turns, and end of the round. So there's a slight benefit to going before your enemies and a slight benefit to taking a slower turn. I really want to get to the... there we are, novice paths. Okay. And then you have different options for playing these characters. And, okay. So there's 4 paths here: magician, priest, rogue, or warrior. And your group identity, let's roll a d6. Because that's what it's saying. What's our origin? 5. You are members of an organization. Okay. That's cool. For kicks, let's say we chose magician. It wants us to roll a d6. What sort of training did we get? We rolled a 2. And you were the 7th son of a 7th son, were born under a strange star, or have the blood of a magical ancestor flowing through your veins. So, yeah. Cool. So that's how we got our magical powers. And then you have the priest and the rogue. And you're like, wait, there's only 4 classes. No. Here's expert paths. Okay, so paths of faith, power, trickery, or war. And then character objectives. Okay. So, and you can mix and match. There's no set, like, this novice has to go with this expert or this master. You don't have any of that. Everything is optional. Your magical powers could develop suddenly from an experience you have. Or some people don't even get magical powers. Or you could be a magician and then later on you could be a berserker for your expert path. Like that is a reasonable build in this. You can literally be whatever type of character you want to be, and that's what makes this magical. During low levels, you don't have very many options, and then you have many more options later on. Oh, and then second path benefits. Oh, yeah. You gain the level 3 benefits from your second expert path, and the level 9 benefits from one of your expert paths. At level 10, you gain the level 6 benefits from your second expert path. So that is pretty cool. If you choose to have 2 expert paths instead of choosing a master path. And the paths of faith: cleric, druid, oracle, paladin. Paths of power: artificer, sorcerer, witch, wizard. Paths of trickery: assassin, scout, thief, warlock. Paths of war: berserker, fighter, ranger, spellbinder. And then you have character objectives. So let's roll a d20 and figure out where our character is going objectively. 12. I want political, magical, or military power. Okay. And then we chose magician. Let's say we choose berserker this time. Okay. Berserker, okay. Story development. 1d6. 3. Your god, the spirit of one of your ancestors or the spirit of an animal, sometimes takes control of your body and causes you to go berserk. You have no memory of what happens while you are berserk. That's magical. And there's really cool mechanics and interesting mechanics throughout this thing. You have excellent art. This book is $50. And to me, this utterly destroys the argument that D&D is the only RPG out there. like, a lot of people believe that for some reason, but you have so many more options in this. Robert J. Schwab, he actually helped develop 5e. And some of his suggestions that didn't make it into 5e are in this. This is much grimmer, much darker, more brutal. No elves. Robert J. Schwab hates elves. Yeah, okay. And then you have master paths. Now look at this table. You have paths of magic and paths of skill. Yeah, I think there's like 64 total options or something like that. Yeah, so let's roll a d6 for our story development. 4. Experience was your teacher, and your master path is an evolution of your existing talents. Okay. So, I was a magician berserker. Okay. So, I don't think paths of skill would be my thing. Well, I mean, because I was a berserker. So, maybe that spirit animal that took me over was part of my ancestral magical powers. Maybe I'm a shapeshifter. Okay, so, and sample quest. 5. Gain a title of nobility. Well, that's interesting. So let's go to shapeshifter. And once again, there is some mature content in this. Shapeshifter, you gain your level 7 and 10 benefits. That's about it. But you have plenty of options. You have your equipment here, prices and carrying limits. Weapons. And the cool thing about this is most of it is in silver. And to me, that's awesome because, like, gold almost has no valuable in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And this maintains that gold is valuable. You have plenty of options for the characters, as you've seen. And with only 10 levels, you could easily just hop back in. And it suggests that after every adventure that you survive, that you gain a level. Magic, once again, this section's pretty dark. Let's go for conjuration. Where is it? Curse, horrible. Make an intellect attack roll against the user target strength. On a success, the target becomes slowed for 1 minute. If your attack roll is 20 or higher, the target also falls prone and cannot stand up while slowed this way. Maybe it's under forbidden magic. Yeah, there's some really messed forbidden. There we are. See, this symbol right here means that if you do any of these things, you will become evil. Okay, so tongue rip. You spit at the target, make an intellect attack roll against its will. On a success, your tongue forks and you take over the target's mouth for as long as you concentrate, up to 1 hour, until the effect ends. Whenever you speak, you can do so from your mouth or the target's mouth, provided you are within 1 mile of the target. When you speak from the target's mouth, it uses its own voice. So yeah, you can mess with people pretty badly. Like there's worse stuff in here, and necromancy. And well, once again, that symbol is helpful to let you know that you don't want to be doing that stuff if you want to survive, because there is a spell failure in this, and that brings it up to the grimness that is magic. Okay, a land in shadow. So, the best thing about this is you can use its loosely detailed base world, or you can make your own. I would highly suggest using these rules to run the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Diablo 2 supplements. Okay, so there's the Awakening, which is the AD&D 2nd edition one. And then there's the D&D 3rd edition 3.0, which is Diablerie and To Hell and Back. Either of those would work perfectly fine with this game because of how it works. And it would be really interesting to kind of combine that idea. The other really cool game, what was it? Okay, I'll try to think of it. So this basically tells you all of the things, and it gives you kind of an overview of basically what's expected in a world that is about to face its apocalypse. Once again, incredible art. Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, that's it. Like, wow. You could totally, like, utilize this to simulate that kind of grimness. Tyranny is another interesting example. Like, I am just utterly fascinated with Tyranny and Darkest Dungeon. Like, I don't own either of those, but I played it over at a friend's house, and if I had extra money that I wasn't spending on books, I would definitely get those two games. Running the game master's job. Yeah, and it basically just tells you to be real about stuff and just be fair. Let death happen. And then here are the plot structures. And then you have the gauntlet, the well, the web. And those are really cool because it's easy to see what you can do to make the game better. And I keep on dropping dice packs. Like, I bought a whole bunch of those dice. I don't know why. I was thinking that maybe the plague would end, so we might gather again. And look at all these. Another one hits the floor. Yeah, so I was planning on handing those to some players, but, the plague persists. Or so they say. I don't know. We haven't had a full outbreak, so that's good. But, yeah. There's all sorts of cool and interesting things here. Okay, the weird magic, it's kind of like this is like the wild magic table, except it's a fifth of the size. And then you have mutations, insanity, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. as I said, if you want to play Diablo 2 inspired content, there you are. This will work for that. Yeah, enchanted object. Oh, the bestiary. Bestiary, whatever you want to call it. There's so many cool things here. Incredible art. That kind of reminds me of Doom. Pre-Eternal. Yeah, I don't know. I really like what they did with Doom 2016. I don't know if I care for the route that they went with Doom Eternal, because there's so much more neon there, and I don't really feel that was the spirit of Doom. Doom was supposed to give you this hopeless kind of feeling where you were the sole survivor, and yeah, you were angry, but then they turned you into some super powerful thing that can't die, and I don't know. I feel that Doom Eternal doesn't follow the lore close enough, and it added a lot of stuff that I'm not a fan of. Oh, so here's somebody sacrificing a baby. That's awful. And yeah, you just have a lot of cool stuff here. Anyways, so yeah, this kind of reminds me of Doom, like 2016 at the latest, and definitely some Diablo vibes, some Dark Souls vibes, but it's got the character customization you deserve. And for $50, it's super easy. Like, I pretty much made a character. You select your ancestry, you roll a few dice, and then you select your novice path, and you have a character. Because you have base amounts of hit points and stuff, and this is the fastest character generation you're going to get for the amount of customization that you have later on. Like, there's nothing faster that I've encountered, except for things where you instantly have whatever it is. I don't, how do I put that? I have never encountered a role-playing game with this variety of character options that's also this fast to generate completely different characters. Like, you have 16 options for your expert path, 4 for your novice. So let's take your novice. 4 times 16 times 15, because if you go that route, or times 64 if you go that route. So 64 plus 15, that's 79. Yeah, so 4 times 16 is 64 times 79. There's a lot of character options, okay? Times your ancestries, okay? Yeah, this is definitely a thumbs up. It rocks. Highly recommended. All right, enough praise. I love this book. Looks like it's got some smudge on it. What's that from? All right, Carbon 1 out. Thank you.